Hi everyone. So today I'm going to do a slowed regular speed version of me doing a really pretty hot pink winged eye look. And I'm going to start with brows. I don't plan to talk over this whole thing, but I'll peep in. I wanted to put up a video of my whole makeup process. I know most of the videos I've put up so far have been sped up, and I wanted to do something in real time so you guys can see the details. If you had questions or wanted to see the details, I'm figuring out my lighting and my camera work, and it's all really fun and really cool to just learn all these cool new tricks and tips. So I really hope you guys enjoy. And for brows, I like to use today I'm going to use Anastasia's Dip Brow with one of my Morph angle brushes. And I use the dip brow to trace out the shape of my eyebrow, and then I go back in with a dark brown shadow powder from my Morph palette to kind of help really define that eyebrow. Now I go in with one of my Juvia's Place foundation sticks to set the under eye and kind of line that up. I tried this today. I usually use Tarte concealer, so the consistency of the foundation stick is really thick, kind of like my LA Girl concealers that we all know and love. So I wanted to try it because I have a bunch of these and I don't use them every day. So I said, let's see if this will work as a concealer and how it works against eyeshadow. So that was the point. So using another flat brush, using that to outline the eyebrow and cover the whole eye, so kind of acting as like an eyeshadow base also. When we got here, I just started to kind of pull the foundation stick from under the eyebrow just to give as much of an even application as possible. In doing makeup every day this last week, I'm learning that taking the time and the details of application is everything. My biggest makeup problem overall is that I don't feel like full coverage is full coverage on me. I don't know if it's maybe a skin texture condition or what the case is, but yeah. So taking the time and the details and laying my bases right and laying my foundation right is everything. So I hope that helps someone. So now I take that same brush I used to lay the foundation stick on my eyelids just to clean up my eyebrows, kind of give that gradient effect that I like. I don't like hard end eyebrows. So just clean up the front of the brows with that. Now I'm gonna go into my favorite palette, my James Charles palette with Morph, with that pretty neutral shade. And because I wanted to just use a bold color for like a winged eyeliner, I just want to take the whole eye and just make it nude and just let that bold color, as you'll see later, be the star of the show. So I'm taking a really big fluffy eyeshadow brush and just using that nude shade to coat my whole eyelid, top, bottom, making sure to not leave any harsh lines under the brows from where we put our foundation sticks. So that's it, real simple. This look is really simple. Just your favorite nude, flesh toned. Do people say flesh toned? Your favorite nude flesh toned shadow, and whatever bright bold color you're feeling. Really easy. Next, I used my NYX pigment cover protector. I didn't know the word, y'all. I'm sorry. But I used that to act as a base for the bold shadow I'm gonna choose. So I used the angle brush, put it on the angle brush, and just kind of formed almost like you would a wing liner with that. A steady hand is key. It's not impossible. Just keep it steady. I'm a blinker, so when I feel I'm a blink, I just move my hand, allow myself to blink, and keep going. I'd like to start in the middle and then go in and out from there. I find it easier to kind of scooch my way to a line than just go full force at one stroke. I'm not at that level yet, so I kind of scooch. And the angle brush helps too, because it kind of guides it along where you don't have to do a lot of the work. Just scooch it along and keep the brush steady. Raise those eyebrows. That helps too. So apparently I lost footage, you guys, of me putting on this beautiful hot pink from the James Charles palette, but I just used a flat brush and dabbed it on. It took a few layers, honestly, to get it really bold as I wanted it. So sorry that footage got lost, but that's what I did. So now I'm taking that same pigment highlight and using another flat handle brush to kind of just clean up the line on that pink eyeliner, we'll call it, shadow liner, from the top. I was debating at this point that I want to do a full cut crease, and I said, nope, I'm going to stick with the look I want. I'm not going to do what I do second nature all the time and just cut a crease. But you guys will see what I came up with. I did want to do something aside from just keeping it that nude, so I did a little something, not too much. I then went in with this really pretty mauve color from the James Charles palette. And with another soft brush, I just went in with that just across the top, just to transition from that nude to another soft kind of nudish pink. And I then used that really pretty champagne pink shimmer just to go in on the corners. Just a little fairy dusting, just to spice things up just a bit, just in the corners. Now I'm going to conceal using the Juvia's Place foundation sticks. And I found that using the foundation sticks and just concealing underneath my foundations really helps um, with the evenness of my makeup at the end. So it's a new trick I've been doing since I've been doing this makeup 30-day challenge I set for myself. And I really like the look. I really like, trying new techniques. So it works for me. So let me know what y'all do. Do y'all foundation first and then conceal and bake and all that stuff? What's you guys' sequence for how you lay your makeup? Let me know in the comments. So once all that concealer is blended, I'm going to use my new poof. If you watched my very first video I put on YouTube, I told you guys I ordered a poof and I was excited to use it, and I love it. It's from the brand is Beauty Blender. I got it from Ulta. So now I'm using my Morphe banana powder to set under my eyes and a little on my forehead. And I love the poof. It's so easy. It's so even. It goes on your finger. The angle of it, the way it's shaped, is perfect for going right in that corner under your eye. It's amazing. Worth it, worth it, worth it. Shout out to Beauty Treats if y'all want to sponsor your girl, because I really do love it. For reals. And while we're waiting on the baking to take place. Is that the term? I should Google things before I start talking. While we're waiting on the baking to take place, I just use my liquid NYX liner to carefully line under my eye. Watch what happens, y'all. Just watch. Just wait on it. Wait on it. I was able to fix it, thank goodness. I just had to put a little more of the foundation stick on there again after I wipe it off. And I'm also setting underneath my chin. This is a bad acne zone spot for me, like the sides of my face. Definitely since Corona and mask life. So I'm definitely paying more attention now to where my highlight and my contour meet and all those things, and making sure that there's adequate coverage there, because I'm breaking out like crazy from this mask life, y'all. It's nuts. Nowhere else. It's really unfair. Okay, enough first world problems. But I wiped away all that powder, as you guys can see now, with my Beauty Blender sponge and my Fenty Beauty foundation. Time to set some foundation. Wait, you guys, I forgot to contour. Using another Juvia's Place foundation stick, I'm going to go ahead and contour my face. So I use this shade typically, this more milk chocolatey shade. I have some deeper shades, and depending on how the deeper ones are applied, they can get really muddy really quick. It's really wild. So I'm just careful, with a careful hand, trying to blend everything out. This foundation stick is more my shade. You can see those golden undertones in that shade. I don't have the names handy, guys. I'll put them in the description for sure. I just don't have the names handy. But to make sure that the blend is really even, what I've been trying is using the shade close to my shade and that milk chocolate shade, and blending them as a contour together, so that that transition isn't as sharp once you put the foundation on. So now using that sponge and just blending and beating away. My forehead is really brown. The sun loves the top of my forehead along with the top of my cheekbone. So it gets really brown at the top of my head, I'm noticing. I'm learning my face. So it's important to contour and highlight adequately. You want to make it as natural as you can, of course. But if you know you're browner in places, you know, our skin is different. Our skin is beautiful in all of the multitudes it comes in. So just know it and know those shades. Know those shades and do your best to match and blend. And try new shades out. Be mindful of the seasons. I'm much cooler toned in the winter time, so I can get away with a shade under my typical foundation shade sometimes. So I found that even when I buy a shade and it's off a shade, it's a little too deep or a little too orangey undertoned or a little too cool, I found that I keep it and just save it for the season it's going to be appropriate. So if your foundation is a little too deep when you buy it, save it for the summer. Maybe after a good few days in the sun, that'll be a perfect shade for you. So don't just toss them, because you can mix them, match them, blend them together to get your perfect shade. So don't toss makeup unless you have an excessive collection. Excessive. I went in with the Beauty Blender again, and my Fenty Beauty now. I'm just blending that foundation out. You see I'm holding it kind of awkward because I know all of the product is on the other side, and I don't want to just product pound one side of my face. So I try to use the other side to do the blending job and one side for the application job, if that makes sense. So it's not just blobs and super heavy in one area. And then if I need a little extra, I can go in because I know there's more product on the sponge already. So that's what I'm doing here, just blending all that out. Next, I went in to just further set my contour very, very light-handedly with one of my Sephora powder compacts. Again, I bought it on purpose, but it was a few shades darker than what I intended to buy. I wanted this to be kind of used as like a loose powder or a finishing powder, and that shade was really deep. I think I ordered it online, but I kept it to use it kind of to further warm up my contour or my forehead if I need to. So it found a purpose. But it was supposed to just set my foundation, but you know, things happen. See, we repurpose around here. Just using a very light hand, just further warming up my cheeks. Now using my Tarte mascara, putting a little mascara before I throw on some lashes. I also went with a lighter lash today than what I usually use on videos. Wanted something lighter to really highlight the shadow, as opposed to just a bad, super fabulous pair of lashes. So I used some regular handy dandy Kiss Wispies today. For a little shimmer, a really cool tip I learned on YouTube and TikTok and all those places I've been lately is putting your highlighter on a sponge and using it to dab so that it doesn't go on as harsh because the sponge is round. So I think next time, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay it even flatter because I kind of put it on the sponge in a line, and I think that's why it came out like this. I still loved it. Still absolutely loved how it came out. But I love that tip. Found that on YouTube. I usually used my ring finger, the softest part of my ring, the tip of my ring finger, to dab my highlighter on, so that you don't go too crazy. But I love the sponge technique too. It blends really nicely, and it catches the light where it needs to. So cool technique. Shout out to YouTube. I got to figure out who gave me that tip and shop them out because I love it. Here go my lashes. So I couldn't decide if I wanted to go bold pink or just a really simple gloss. So I tried them both because why not? So first I tried the Cocoa by Kylie Cosmetics. Funny story about how I even ended up with this. Went to Ulta for shampoo. Shampoo and a flat iron actually. Went there for that. Was checking out, and the gentleman asked me if I wanted to open an Ulta card today, and if I did, I'd receive a free Kylie lip kit. And I said, a free Kylie lip kit and some other stuff I got too for free. I forget even what that was, but that alone got me to become a new Ulta card member. And now that I think about it, that may be the whole reason this whole 30-day challenge started, because I'm like, oh, I have an Ulta card. I love makeup anyway. I can earn some points trying new shadow palettes and lippies and all that stuff. So, and if I'm buying all this makeup, I'm working every day. I'm not wearing makeup like this to work. Why not record myself and the looks? So that may be the kind of alpha to all of this. Now that I think about it, really interesting. So here's the hot pink matte from the Cocoa by Kylie. which I liked. I didn't love. So-so. You see, I'm like, it's so-so. It's okay. So after what felt like, oh, that's me checking it. Sometimes you gotta close your eyes and look again. So after it took so much doggone time, you guys, to try to scrub it off. Jeez Louise, as you can see. So hard. So I will say that the Cocoa by Kylie is long lasting. Doing my best to get it off. Then I went in with my Luxe Gloss by ColourPop, which I love. And in the end, this was my... Let me shut up. Well, it's too late. You'll see anyway. The video is almost over. In the end, this was my favorite look of the two. I love the gloss. It made the eyes pop more for me. And since there's still some residue of that cocoa, I see the pink undertone. So maybe that's what just perfected it. But that's the final look, you guys. Spraying with my Morph spray, finishing touches. And that's it. There's the look, y'all. Please be sure to follow me on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And I appreciate y'all so much for watching. Thank you. Any questions?